Focus. Fight. Win.
Titanfall 2 is not just another FPS. Upon starting my first multiplayer match in this game, I was quickly reminded how often I was fooled by the verticality of the original Titanfall. Years of playing first-person shooters have trained us to peek and pie corners and camp choke points, but with the added dimension of players being able to build momentum, wall run, slide, double jump, use decoys, cloak, Spider-Man, and time warp, unless you adapt, traditional FPS strategy might not be as effective. Throw in the Titans and you have a combat formula that is incredibly thrilling, superbly paced, and grand in scale. There's a proper single-player story mode this time around, and most people actually really enjoy it. It isn't the typical story mode you'd expect in an FPS. There's quite a bit of platforming, and while platforming has been the bane of my existence in most games I've played, it's actually quite exhilarating. It reminds me a lot of the platforming in Mirror's Edge, except less linear, more forgiving, and on steroids. There's quite a bit of humor as well, and it doesn't feel forced or out of place, and the action sequences are as good as any other. Even though most people buy first-person shooters for the multiplayer, and it is kind of short, it's still worth going through if you're interested in the backstory of the Titanfall universe or need a tutorial of sorts before going against other players, which might not be a bad idea to do, as it'll show you the full capabilities of a pilot's arsenal. I really enjoy the multiplayer in this game. In two of the modes, Attrition and Bounty Hunt, AI actually participate in the battle alongside the players. This is really cool because it adds to the atmosphere and you'll feel like you're in a huge battle. Since the AI is so easy to kill compared to the other pilots, it makes it feel like the pilots are the elite soldiers as they make them out to be in the story mode. If you aren't that great at FPS games, that's okay. You can go around and kill AI. I have seen people kill less players and more AI and show up higher on the leaderboard. The addition of AI complements the gameplay, makes it feel more epic and less frustrating. I mostly play Attrition, but there are a ton of multiplayer modes if TDM with AI is not your thing. Frontier Defense from the first game, where you defend against multiple waves of enemies, will be added in a later patch. DLC plans for this game are great as well, cause unlike its competitors, all maps that will be released for Titanfall 2 will be free. I'm a little concerned about the lifespan of this game, as it released incredibly close to Battlefield 1 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. It's really strange because it had less marketing than Battlefield, is published by the same company as Battlefield, and released only a week later. I get that EA believes that Battlefield and Titanfall attract different kinds of players and wants to cut into Call of Duty's player base as much as they can, but I can't help but feel waiting would have been more beneficial for the game itself. Right now there's only a few thousand online for the PC version, and I've already seen this game on sale on Amazon and Walmart for half the price. Hopefully we'll see what happened with the original Titanfall, where even though there weren't as many players as the other titles, there was still a healthy amount from sales, promotions, and support given throughout its lifespan. So I'm gonna go over the pros. The controls are tight, the movement is fluid, game mechanics are unique and refreshing, it's easy to pick up, difficult to master, story mode is the best a lot of people have seen in a while from an FPS, multiplayer gameplay has depth and feels epic, future maps are free, the devs listened to the community, they changed everything everyone hated in the original Titanfall and the alpha for Titanfall 2. As for the cons, the player base is already suffering from such a close release to Battlefield and Call of Duty. It's a shame that this game has had such a disappointing launch sales-wise, because this might be the most underrated title this year. I usually don't like playing first-person shooters, but I actually highly recommend that you pick up this game if you have the cash. How good it was surprised a lot of people, it surprised me, and it will surprise you too. If you really aren't a fan of the FPS genre, give it a shot when it goes on sale or on a free weekend. If you're on the fence, let go, take a leap of faith, and prepare for Titanfall.